Locust Lake State Park in Pennsylvania is a tranquil, beautiful, peaceful place for those of the Locust Valley and surrounding areas to enjoy all things outdoors, including fishing, hunting, boating, swimming, and hiking. Looking around, however, it would be hard to imagine that this area is not as it once was. The land that is now Locust Lake State Park once belonged to the Native American tribes who lived in these areas. A number of tribes had fought over this land until the Iroquois nation of 5 tribes gained control. And then the white European settlers came in. The original plan for the Locust Valley by the first European settlers was to mine this area for the anthracite coal that is found heavily in this region. What they found, however, was land that was not kind to mining. What they found instead were plenty of trees. Now, if you look here, you'll notice that most of these trees, while some of them are relatively large, a lot of them are young, new trees, not more than 100 years old. Based on that, it isn't hard to imagine that back in the early 1900s, this land was almost completely cleared of the natural forests that once called this land their home. The loggers' destruction of the trees made this land and the surrounding area very susceptible to both forest fires and seasonal flooding. Even now, when there is a heavy rain, some of the paths still get quite waterlogged. It was in the mid-1900s when the Marshallonis brothers bought up the land that is now the Locust Lake State Park. The Marshallonis brothers planned to use the area as a fishing and picnic spot for the public. And the gorgeous lake that we see today was man-made, and when they dug it up, they discovered the remains of a long-buried logging mill and dam that had been buried in silt, leaves, and debris due to the extensive logging and removal of lumber of the surrounding mountainsides. Here we have a couple of the campsites available for rent at Locust Lake State Park. These are the tent sites where they have a space for a tent, a campfire, and a table. On the other side of the lake, there are spots available for RVs to plug in, and those spots are slightly larger with electrical outlet posts. Each campsite is numbered, and whenever there is a renter at the campsite, it has their information and their leave date marked on the post. Then here is part of the walking trail that goes all the way around the lake that is mostly inaccessible to cars and other vehicles, so it is safe for walkers, for bikers, for joggers to go around the lake. The path is roughly 1 mile long surrounding the lake. Though there is the mile-long track around the lake, there are also small paths throughout the woods that lead around and down to the lake edge. Some fishermen use spots, probably not this one, it's a little blocked, to fish and be away from other people. After the Marshallonis brothers built the lake and the dam that feeds the lake, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania bought the land from them in 1966 and officially opened Locust Lake State Park to the public on June 10th, 1972. So this year will mark only the 49th anniversary of this park. Though there are areas for hunting, this park is mainly a family-friendly zone, welcoming to the little children all the way up to the men and women who hunt and fish. And here is one of the many small runoff areas, little tributaries that feed into the lake. As I said, many of the paths get more than a little flooded when heavy rains hit. And here is the beginning of the walking trail. As you can see, there's a sign for an amphitheater. About halfway around the lake, there is a seated area where the lake sometimes puts on informational activities where people can learn about the wildlife of the area and the history of the lake. And here is the camp store and boat rental facility where you can buy firewood, ice, and other necessities for when you are camping. They also sell ice cream during the warmer weather.